大家好 Hello everyone. Today's poem is QingMing by Du Mu. QingMing is a traditional Chinese festival. It's one of the four Chinese holidays, public holidays till today. So the other three is Spring Festival, the Dragon Boat Festival, and the last one is Mid-Autumn, which we eat mooncake. So you can see QingMing is still a very important date for Chinese till today. In the date around QingMing, 1 week or 10 days, so normally the Chinese will gather with the families, go back to their hometown if they are not in their hometown, to pay the visit and pray in front of their ancestors' tombs. That was so-called 祭祖, to pray for their ancestors. And also in the Chinese will also tour around in the countryside, trek in the mountains, along the rivers, which we call it 踏青, step on the green grass. So that means you tour around in the early spring. That's the best season after a cold, long winter. QingMing Festival actually is not a very ancient tradition. It was believed to become a festival, a nationwide festival in the Song dynasty, so which is roughly 1,000 years ago. But there's two other important festivals before Song dynasty which finally contribute or combine together to the QingMing Festival. The first one is 寒食节. 寒食 means eating everything cold. So during the festival, could be several days, and in some times in the history, it's roughly a little more than 3 months time period. So during the period, in the daytime, you cannot eat anything hot. So 寒 means cold, 食 means eat. So everything you eat in the daytime should be cold dish. So that's a big challenge for Chinese, because everybody know the Chinese drink hot water and eat most of the foods, or the main course should be hot. 寒食节 originated from a 2,700 years ago history story. The king of Jingguo, his name is Chong'er, the Prince Chong'er. Before he became a king, he suffered a lot and he was a target to be killed by his enemy. So he ran away, traveled in so many countries away from his own country to escape from the killing. And one of the person, 介子推, the name is 介子推, is the go through all the journeys with him, one of his companies, and support him. They suffered a lot together, and so they have a very deep friendship between each other. When Chong'er, the prince, became a king later, he wanted to honor and reward all those people who followed him when he was suffered, when he was escaping from the killings. So 介子推 is, of course, it's one of the very important guy. He want to reward him. But 介子推 doesn't think that way. He hide him away from the king in a wild mountain, 绵山. I have passed that mountain, 绵山, but I didn't It's not a big mountain, but I don't have the time to climb up to the temple, which is supposed to be the place Jesus Cui lived in that time. And there's a temple to memorize Jesus Cui till today, even in today's time. And so the king wanted to reward Jesus Cui, so he burned the mountain, the whole mountain, to push Jesus Cui get out of the mountain to meet the king, to see the king. Anyhow, Jesus Cui didn't show up. He didn't come out. He was burned to death. At this stage, the king feel such big sorrow for Jesus Cui, so he ordered a date, which is the date Jesus Cui was burned to death, that nobody in the country can make a fire, no matter it's to cook the dinner or what. Nobody can make a fire. So in that date, all the people within the kingdom should eat cold, so that because eating normally for Chinese is the first thing first, the most important things. So even it's to memorize the Jesus Cui, the guy, but the festival was named as 寒食节, eating cold, the date of eating cold. So that time is several days around the time of QingMing Festival. Another origination of QingMing Festival is 上巳节. So normally it was called 3月3, the 3rd of the March. Of course, that's the lunar calendar. So basically, it's 2 days later after QingMing Festival. So that's 上巳节. 上巳节 was a festival from the Taoism. And in the Tang dynasty, the Taoism was appreciated by the royal families, and so it was very prosperous, and a lot of the Taoism things was practiced nationwide. So 上巳节 was one of them, and we can see that in many Tang poems, 3月3 or 上巳, you can see the words. One of the very famous one by 杜甫 is 丽人行, though the first sentences of the poem is 3月3日天气新, 长安水边多丽人. So that was a big date. All the people in the town, they rushed out to the suburb, to the countryside, to 踏青, so that, and play kite. So that's the things about 上巳节 or 3月3. So there's still, this festival still was practiced by some of the minority ethnic race in China in the southwest. So they call it 3月3. So finally, after Song Dynasty, these two big festivals finally combined into one festival, 清明节. 清明，杜牧。清明时节雨纷纷，路上行人欲断魂。借问酒家何处有？牧童遥指杏花村. Very simple and very, very popular poems. So whenever it's around the QingMing Festival, almost every Chinese will thought about this poem, very famous poem, and the wording is very simple. It's no other quotations to the classic literatures or any metaphors, nothing. So quite simple, straightforward. So the title QingMing point out that's the festival, writing about the festival. 清明时节雨纷纷. So the period of the QingMing Festival, it rains and rains. 雨纷纷, it means rains and rains. So that's the weather, and that's the 24 solar terms about. Whenever the QingMing Festival is around, you just pay a little attention to the weather forecast. The Yellow River area and the Yangtze River area is always rains and rains, and the weathercaster maybe talk about something like 清明时节雨纷纷. So that's from this poem. 路上行人欲断魂. So the second sentence is very straightforward for Chinese because everybody know it's a time to pay a visit to the ancestors' tombs to memorize the ancestors. Of course, it's a little bit of sad things, and it's very easily to see the people from the tomb. They came back from the tombs, and with the rains and rains that make the people's mood sad. So that's very straightforward for Chinese. 借问酒家何处有? So the first two sentences is quite straightforward. That's the image or ideas in almost every Chinese mind. Rains and rains, you pay the visit to the ancestors' tombs, go to the cemeteries, and it's a little bit sad mood. And the third sentence, it changed the mood totally. 借问酒家何处有? 借问, so it means, may I ask, 酒家何处有? So where is the restaurant? Where is the bar? 酒家, you can eat there, you can drink there. So this put the picturesque pictures into a situation. The poet himself is asking someone for the bars, for the restaurants, in the countryside, of course. So and the fourth sentence, 牧童遥指杏花村. So this makes the situations more dynamic. The 牧童, the cowboy, point to the remote place. Hey, there. 杏花村, so he point out, oh there's a village called 杏花村, a village named Apricot Flower Village. So the village name gave you another pictures. It's a lot of flowers in the springtime. And this 牧童 also, in a typical Chinese mind, is also had their own styles. In the Chinese village, typical Chinese village, the bull or the cow is not for carne. It was fit for the farmland works. So normally one family only got one or two cow or bulls. So the 牧童, you can imagine the 牧童 is not with a big herd of cows or bulls. It's with several, one or two or three cows. And he normally wear a straw hat with a short flute, and that was used for his leisure and also to call the bulls or cows. So all this add up because in the ancient time, even till the now, if you go to the countryside village often, because we have the festivals, right? We have QingMing festivals. You can see these things, very normal things, very easily. So that's why this poem, that's one of the main reasons for this poem is so popular because everybody has their reflections when he was reading this poem, and the wording is very simple, it's very straightforward, and also have the tenors. The first two sentences very normal and very familiar for Chinese, very familiar pictures in the in the QingMing Festival. And the third and fourth sentence make it dynamic and make yourself into the situation. You have been to the village, asked for lunch, right? And maybe there's some of the encounters make you some of the very sweet or good memories as well. So finally, this poem is not a very sad mood poem. It starts with a very typical, a little bit sad situation, but with the story going on, and the poet asking the dialogue with the cowboy, it makes this poem very lively and very dynamic. So that's why almost everybody liked this poem, and so easy to be read. A second thought, this could not be the real poem by Du Mu, because first, this poem was not in the collection books of Du Mu. Du Mu has asked one of his relatives to collect all his articles and poems together into a book before he dies. And also, this poem was not in the Tang poetry book. So there's a very official book. It was announced, or he claimed to collect all the Tang poetry together. It's roughly 30,000 poems, more Tang poems. But this poem was not in that Tang poetry books. So this poem was first shown up in a Song dynasty's book, and also this is the first evidence it could be not by Du Mu. The other evidence is from the style of Du Mu. The one style is the wording is very, very crispy. So because we are reading the sentences, the sound, the rhythm is very crispy. So all the Du Mu's poems was famed for that characteristic. This song complies on this point. So this poem reads very crispy, and so that's why one of the main reason he's so popular. But for the other very important Du Mu character is Du Mu was very well educated, and his grandfather was the premier minister, and he studied the history and the military arts from things was used because he wanted to do something on that part, the military things, or to manage the country, to help the emperors. So whenever he write poems, even about drinking things or tour around, there's always something about history, about the country, or the varying, or the do something to contribute to the country things. Always something reflected in his poem, even it's not much. But in these poems, it's just a very, very simple poems. Nothing reflected but about the festivals and a very typical encounter in the countryside, the situations. Anyhow, it's a very nice poems, and it's so easily arouse Chinese sensitive feelings during the QingMing Festival. Okay, that's for today. Bye-bye.